Let's get him. Let's bring newbie Dan Alexander joining us, cast considerations, and a variety of other very cool podcasts and things. He's got the green screen going today. What is up, newbie Matt and Dave? Welcome back to BVB.
Boys, I mean, happy to be here. Let's start with that. I'm overjoyed to be back with my two guys who I love, who saw my face go as white as the blazes when a check came out when we were watching a UFC fight at Chicky and Pete's in Las Vegas. And we were told we had comp drinks, we had comp everything. The check comes out and it was about $900 after I already said, I got this one, boys. First near bad beat of the time we were hanging out, and the first major cash for me in the time that we were hanging out. So I'm happy to be with you.
I forgot about
Matty P. You couldn't have just led with all the Sixers stuff before I was in the green room about how we suck and how we haven't won in 30 years. Like, I know all of this stuff. And then it had to be re-brought up to me. I was just sitting here, the sad music playing in my ears. It was
pulling Dave. Dave's taught you well. We're playing music in the background.
We do it all the time.
Just don't play the Sixers song, please, because that song is awful.
Why?
Because it's awful.
It's not.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
If the Sixers song, bat signal gets popped up, I don't know if I have it in me to fight. But this is your show after all, Matt. So I will abide by the laws of engagement. But I'm happy to be here, guys.
And Dave can play it tomorrow. I mean, if Sixers win tonight, Dave has every right to play it tomorrow. The song I'm just not a very big fan of it. Here's my first question. If Philadelphia wins this series and they move on, and I think that they will get to the NBA Finals. Does it hurt to know that you're going to lose in the finals?
Yeah, I mean,
what kind of question is that? You call yourself a journalist?
That's like you could get a job at CNN with questions like that, according to how that went.
Don't start that shit. Well, you're right,
but man, there is something to that, Matt. Is we already know how this ends, right? I mean, is it more impressive? What is it that Shakespeare said? 'Tis it nobler to have loved and lost than to never loved at all. 'Tis it nobler to lose every single major sports championship in one calendar year than to not been in them at all. I don't know, man.
The Cup Finals, but you have 3 of the 4, so it would be a pretty impressive feat.
Yeah.
Well, 3 of the 4.
But the Sixers, I mean, the Flyers, their season was lost before it ever even started. Right. So that one we just chalked up to a big L there. But it does kind of hurt because you know that's how it has to go, right? Like that's the simulation that we're in. Our timeline is the timeline when Philadelphia sports are just good enough to get us excited and then rip our hearts out instead of ripping our hearts out before it starts. So incredible backhanded journalism out of you there, Matty P. That was excellent work.
All right. I didn't get this green screen cleared to maintain being green. We got enough green stuff to worry about and root against. I can't believe that. You wore the green. You got the green screen. But listen, can we go right to the source here, newbie? Can we go right into the locker room for the Sixers tonight? And what will the pregame speech be like from the big guy? Like, can you give us a little bit of something that we're going to feel tonight for game 6? Because we're home dogs, newbie, plus 2.5.
Oh, it's we now.
Some way,
by the way,
somehow.
It's we now. Okay, it's we now.
Like I had to channel it. I use this hat because it channels Joel Embiid through me. Joel, you have the floor. Oh, thank you so much for letting me come on the Bostonian Investor Book. This is so great for me. I'm so happy to be here. I am the MVP now. Look at me, man. I'm the captain now. And I'm so happy that we finally have a lead against the Celtics. But newbie with the green behind him, what the is he doing, man? Doesn't he know we're dogs tonight? We got to go out there, guys. Tatum runs our life. We could have drafted him. We got Markelle Fultz instead. What a shame. What a shame. But for the fallen soldiers, we got to win this for Sam Hinkie. He died for our sins. So we got to get this done here tonight, guys. That's what we got to do. Joel Embiid out.
Does anyone actually
out there for a second, guys? Did Joel Embiid show up? I wasn't here. What?
Does anybody actually say the process anymore? Is that like is that like a nasty phrase to say in Philly?
Well, like Joel Embiid still calls himself the process, but like, dude, if they lose again, if they somehow lose tonight, which I honestly, for what it's worth, we do like the actionable info that people know and love. I think it's going to be tough to see the Celtics shoot as poorly as they did. I think you kind of see a game 2 like game out of them. I don't know if they win by 30 points in the Sixers house again. But
I think you're right though, because I said to Dave before game 5, I said Boston can lose tonight and the series goes 7, or Boston wins tonight and the series goes 7. I just think it was going to be a split either or, and then I'm not sure Boston wins game 7 at home. I think it goes 7. I think Philly's got a really good shot of winning game 7 and beating the Celtics in Boston.
Well, it's all about who ends up being the ref crew in that eventual game 7, right? It depends. Do we get the Scott Foster treatment that helps out the home team, or the Scott Foster treatment that hurts the home team? But me being a card-carrying member of the tinfoil hat society when it comes to the NBA, the NBA wants this series to go 7, right?
100%.
So you maybe see a couple ticky-tack calls here and there, but I think you take that out of it. If the Celtics are able to play their game, which is push the pace, nobody can hang with them. If you're trying to beat the Celtics going back and forth, blow for blow in transition, it's not going to happen. But if you're able to get them stuck in that half-court game, if you're able to get them in settled offense, that's when you see these mistakes kind of stack up. And I'm not going to go as far as some pundits to say they become pedestrian in the half-court, but they become a slightly above average or 2 average team when they're in half-court offense, in my opinion. When they slow it down, that's when spacing issues really happen. When they can push the pace and they're high-flying, nobody can hang with them.
Well, I think it comes down to, it comes down. Al Horford is a big part of that, right? God, so if Al Horford's knocking threes, okay, if Al Horford is, you're right, in the half-court, it comes down to a jump shooting team, and that's what Philly made Boston in game 5.
Yeah.
Slow how'd
that work out?
Bad. They missed every damn shot that they tried. But it's also like what Newbie just said. Highly unlikely Al Horford misses his first 7 shot attempts. Okay. Highly unlikely that Jason Tatum scores 2 points in the first quarter for a 3rd straight game. So most likely Boston has a much more improved offensive shooting game in game 6. And then that will take the Sixers out of the zone, because Sixers will go zone. If Boston's cold, they're going to go zone like they did in game 5 and basically dare Boston to shoot them out of it, and Boston couldn't do it.
Right. Well, I will also say too, as far as the Horford thing goes, I can't stand Horford. The only reason he was on the Sixers was because he was sent there as a spy. He infiltrated, he found the dealer, and he destroyed the supply. And that's
you couldn't beat Boston with Al Horford there, so you took him away because you thought Embiid was going to be able to play better with Al Horford on your roster, and that didn't happen either. But Boston still beat you.
But the turning point in this series was when Al Horford did that stupid ass. Oh, what was that? The Tootsie Roll that he did after he got that layup. Yeah, whatever that he was hitting the Tootsie Roll. Ever since he went the Tootsie Roll route, it seems like he hasn't been able to score a point. So hopefully the Tootsie Roll curse continues for Al Horford. And I can finally just shoot him into the sun.
Here's one thing to watch for tonight for you guys watching the show, and thank you for the brigade for being here. Yesterday, Jaylen Brown was named 2nd team All-NBA, not 1st team All-NBA. Boston now has a chance to give him a max contract that will keep him with the Celtics. He would lose significant amounts of money, like almost $100 million, if he goes and signs somewhere else. So that now is off the table. He's not going to get traded. He's not going to, because no one can give him anywhere near what Boston can give him from a supermax contract extension for 5 years after next season. So now people have been saying that's been hanging on the locker room. The guys have been waiting to see whether Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were going to be broken up. Now they're not going to be. They're going to be together for the long term, as long as Boston offers him the supermax. Could be a big game for JB tonight. Brown could have a big game tonight.
Yeah. And anytime you have that added motivation on top of being in an elimination game, that's something that's concerning. I don't know if you have the numbers in front of you, or does that mean we're looking towards like an over PRA for him? I hate just going ISOing when a guy needs like a big game to go, we'll go over his points. Like, I think a better way
I think he's free. I think he may be freed up from the question and freed up from the concern, because there has been this talk, and Dave even talked about it like a couple days ago, like they're going to break up the 2 guys, right? And I don't think they're going to. I think they now know they're going to be together long term, and it may just quiet down whatever, if there was any questions about him leaving, because everyone's like, yeah, this is the last run. They're going to trade him in the offseason because he's going into his last year and he's not going to resign. Well, now Boston knows they have the most amount of money and power to resign him long term. So I that could factor in tonight. And I also think Boston has got to just play their game and let Embiid have his time. It's the other guys that's the problem. You can't
Embiid props over. Embiid props over. Is that what you're saying?
I would let Embiid go bonkers. Let him score 35 points, have 20 rebounds. I wouldn't care. It's Harden and it's Maxey. Those are the two guys you got to stop.
I mean, if you don't dog though, Maxey's the dog. Like that's my I was saying in the playoff series that they lost to Atlanta. Why are we wasting playoff minutes on Ben Simmons when we know how this story ends? Right. All those minutes should have been going the way of Maxey. So I feel very vindicated in the fact that Maxey has continued this stark progression that he's had. As far as Joel Embiid, we're looking at 29.5 for his over points. If that is the mantra, and Matt's a guy who, whenever I'm talking about, Boston sports, I always go to Sports Talk Matt, see what he's breaking down on the timeline, because this guy knows his shit when we're talking Boston sports. If he has the inside track to the lineup, that's how you work in promo right there, Dave. That's an expert level right there. I'm trying to guarantee a spot back. You know what I'm saying, Dave?
This is perfect. I mean, you bring Joel Embiid every time. You already got a spot on the show.
Hammer my over points tonight. It's a lock, baby.
See?
Let's go.
There we go.
But here's the thing: I want him shooting threes.
I don't. I want him to live in the paint. I love it when Embiid hits a three, like when they're rolling and it's like everybody's shooting threes. But like when he just hangs out outside the arc, that's where his game just starts falling by the wayside. Because where he's dominant is when he can get a little dirty in the post, when he's able to wear on players. And I think this will be like an all hands on deck. Like I don't think this is one of those Embiid games where his hands are on his hips. He's really feeling sorry for himself. I think this is expend all your energy here.
But the building, just like Boston was tight, the building's a problem.
You ain't never been in a building. What the hell are you talking about?
Because
I'm not going to be there. That also helps.
Because Philadelphia has around their neck what Boston used to have on the neck forever.
What?
The remembrance of pain. And the loss, the losing.
Stop this nonsense.
It's not nonsense. It's true.
Cruel. I take back. I never go to Sport Talk Matt on his Twitter timeline. His Twitter timeline
Philadelphia,
sucks.
Boston forever. We were always waiting for when the choke will come.
Newberg,
and when it starts to slide, when things start to slide.
He's only got 3 more minutes, and then we got the other guy coming in. We got to present the other
side.
The
Boston bullshit coming on.
He's from Florida. He's from Florida. He's not representing Florida,
but he lives within walking distance of the Boston place.
No,
anyhow,
he's from Florida. Newbie, of Florida.
The NFL schedule releases today. Everybody's making such a big deal about this Eagles game on Christmas. I mean, you are a longtime family of season ticket holders. How the hell much does this mess up Christmas Day for fans and stuff when they go to the games? Like this is too much. Like is it taking over everything?
Yes.
For my dad, for myself, it is the best Christmas present
ever. Of course.
For my mother, for my sister, they're saying, you're going to go where on Christmas? My mom didn't even like when the Eagles played on Christmas Eve. She was like, this is invasive. I hate it. They shouldn't be playing on Christmas Eve. So I think it's however you look at it. As a sports fan, you love when your team plays on a holiday. You know what I mean? But that's the other side of it is you either are like, oh, I got to win for Christmas, or I got a big fat L for Christmas. At least we know it's against the Giants, so I know it's a win.
It's a win
for Christmas. So that at least, and also an early Christmas present for you. Boston Scott anytime touchdown in that game. Again, automatic cash. He's scored like the last 13 games against the
that's the weirdest
Giants,
stat ever. It really is. It's the strangest. He can't score touchdowns against anybody else except the Giants.
But you know that Nick Sirianni is in on the bit because he's that cringy and he's that corny that he's like anytime around the goal line, he's literally like, where's my man B. Scott? We gotta continue the bit. People gotta eat in Philadelphia. They need their hoagies. They need their cheesesteaks, boys. Let's get Boston Scott in there. Here we go.
Oh, I love it. Well, the chat loves you. We love you. Thanks for coming on the show. At Newbie Talks on the Twitter. Send the people out, not with a cotton candy, sweetie, go. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. We don't need that right now. We need, where can they find you, not just now on Cash Considerations when we hook that back up, and not just at Newbie Talks, but what are you doing here with the lacrosse stuff? Tell the people.
Appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate you, Matt. Loving you. Love coming on with you guys. Glad to be back here. And yeah, you can follow me easiest way right below. They do a great job with the graphics here at Newbie Talks. You can see everything that I'm doing, hosting shows over with Wager Talking coming up in June 3rd already. The Premier Lacrosse League is kicking off. The best lacrosse that you will ever see. It's going to be on ABC June 3rd weekend. I'm doing a little bit more of betting strategist role for them, but we're still going to be bumping out the content, as you guys always know. So, hey, best of luck to everybody tonight. Love coming on with you guys. And Dave, he
hit
told
him
me
on
I'm
the way
not allowed
out
to do it. I got to do it on the way out, baby. I got to do it on the way out, baby. You got to do it. Let's go, guys.
He knocked over the green screen.
He knocked it all over.
He knocked over the green screen.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh my.
I
That's too
love
much. That's
this
too good.
show.